In a week that had a lot of good tidings and bad tidings and like a potpourri of different shades of results and scenarios in the world of sports. We thank you very much for joining us. This is Hotsports, the longest running independent sports show on Nigerian television. My name is Babajide Guerrero. I was close to saying Babajide Egro, but hey, it's Babajide Guerrero. That's my name. Of course, that particular Egro symptom is still very much catching the internet with a lot of electrifying feel here, there, and everywhere. So we'll go for a quick break, and when we return, it's time to meet my guys in the studios. And guess what? We have a debutant in the house. And we are back. Well, if you're just joining us, you've not missed anything because we're just about to go right into it. Remember, you can follow us on all social media platforms at Hotsports NG. That's right there on your screen. Do want to subscribe. And, of course, follow me on my handle. And, of course, the other ones for the guys will pop up very shortly. Step forward. Dari, of course. Dari, how are you?
I'm great. It's good to be back.
Yep.
Just after a week of resting and all that. But the last time we met was last week Saturday, and we had fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I mean, Daria and I, after finishing in the studio, had fun with some couple of future stars at a particular inter sports for a particular school on the island, and it was very, very interesting to see how young stars, made their own impressive feats on tracks and of course on the field. But meanwhile, speaking about impressive, well, it was impressive when he walked in through our doors for his auditioning at the Hotsports Search in 2019. But at this time today, Opeyemi, some people call him Hilarious on social media, but Opeyemi is making his debut today on Hotsport. How are you, my man?
Hi, Jide.
Yep.
Finally, yeah, I'm making the bow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it has been coming.
Yeah, it has indeed been coming. How you feeling, man?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm cool.
All right, so let's just get right into it. Well, Opeyemi is making his debut, and we hope he will score tons of goals and, of course, give us a very memorable debut. But tons of Grand Slam maybe was what she won when she was at the top flight of her tennis career. But unfortunately, that same tennis career had a little bit of controversy here and there, judging by her Russian roots and whether or not she doped or not. Bottom line, she said she's drawing the curtain on what has been a very illustrious career. Maria Sharapova is done and dusted with the sports. Good career she had?
Yeah, good career, bar the controversial meldonium controversy she had a couple of years back. For an athlete or a tennis player who won 5 Grand Slam, one of the few to have a career, a complete career Grand Slam in terms of winning the French Open, the Wimbledon, the US Open, not forgetting the Australian Open as well. She won the French Open twice. Not to know so many tennis players can boast of this. She will look back at her career and say, probably if not for the reoccurring shoulder injury, should have been one of those athletes that will always give Serena a run for her money. But how many times have they met in the final? How many times was she able to defeat the same Serena Williams?
All right, why are you smiling, by the way?
Yeah, the mention of Serena, when Sharapova said she was going to retire, she was retiring. And the first thing that started trending on Twitter was Serena Williams.
Exactly.
We remember Sharapova for so many things. And one of them is she's always second best to Serena Williams. Let's be factual. Number 2, we cannot take away the controversy. People would say she's a cheat. Some would say she's not a cheat. But at some point, she was caught cheating.
Absolutely.
And it's not good for the sport.
Yep.
So, for me, she did well for herself.
Well, that's brilliant, of course. So kudos to her. And the bottom line is that we hope that she has a better time out of the sports and then she doesn't go broke. So moving on at this time, unfortunately, the COVID-19 is still sweeping around Asia. And now it has even puffered into some parts of the world. We hear Europe this time around, but before we go into a lot of those, the Chinese Football League market has crashed because of the, of course, suspended because of this issue of the COVID-19 virus, coronavirus, and we are hearing that, we also recall rather, that the Chinese Formula 1 Grand Prix was cancelled due to the recent outbreak, and then it has also led to a lot of cancellation of matches and things happening in China. And we're hearing there's a likelihood that Tokyo 2020 may be either cancelled or postponed if at all this particular virus isn't curbed.
At this point in time, you can't afford to have gathering in such countries, particularly countries like neighboring countries close to China. Having said that as well, you also consider the fact that, I mean, the Europeans are now beginning to feel the heat. Italians could not play the game involving Inter Milan and Sampdoria. I think Verona as well could not play as well. They are feeling the heat. Their reality is dawning on the Europeans. And once the Europeans are involved, they'll begin to put lots of measures in place, which sometimes realistic decisions, they begin to take them as well. So I understand where this is coming from. And also when you consider the fact that, I mean, you are talking about the Chinese Grand Prix. It's meant to happen in April, and they are looking at even suspending it, not holding it at all. So it might be so unfortunate, so unfair in quotes on Tokyo, who have taken this long to prepare for a world-class event, and all of a sudden an epidemic has come to take it away from them.
Well, while the world is battling the coronavirus and where it would break out and where it will not break out next, Nigeria also is currently, a sector of Nigerian football, it's currently battling with the pain and the loss of another civilian who's this time around is a footballer for Remo Stars. His name is Kaka. Currently a picture on your screen of Kaka in his jersey for Remo Stars. Well, the president of the NFF, Amaju Pinnick, has paid a courtesy visit to the family. This gentleman was killed by the, I was going to say gentleman of SARS, but again, I'm not sure if I thought that's gentle. But again, this is the kind of things we do not want to see. Apart from him being a footballer, that's somebody's life, that's somebody's son, that's somebody's father-to-be or father, breadwinner gone.
Every other day, it happens to people that don't even know anybody. The last one that happened somewhere in Agege, so that Coyote guy that was shot in the viewing center. These things, over time, we keep doing the same thing, expecting to get a different result.
There was a report that this young man actually tendered his ID card, showing to them that I'm a footballer, I play for Remo Stars. Yet his ID card was not taken seriously. This is also to tell us how our football is being respected in our homeland. If the place could not really give much respect to a club as big as Remo Stars, to a player who is playing in the NNL, it goes to show that the LMC, the Nigerian Football Federation, needs to start pushing our club size, our football, to the world, to Nigerians to see more and respect the players, not just when they are on the pitch of play, anywhere they are.
We also have to respect the lives, regardless of the player or whoever. I mean, I had a first-hand experience. I went to host an event outside Lagos, and I got back. And then I was told to open the boot and then open my bag and everything, and then I showed them. Thankfully, the only thing that saved me that day was internet, because I had to play them videos from Hotsports. Thank God Hotsports upload on YouTube, And then they were like, oh, you're that Hotsports guy, okay, you can go. But the question is, now, I am Babajide Guerrero, presenter for Hotspot. What happens to the regular civilian who has nothing attached to him? We should value human life. I don't think the government can ignore the reform of Nigerian police anymore. It is absolutely important. If we decide to get this thing right, the lives of everyone should matter and mean something. Well, we'll go for a quick break. When we return, it's time to rub our hands deep into the dirt, the facts, the figures, the numbers, the excitement that we call the UEFA Champions League. Stick around. We'll be right back after this. And we are back. Well, excitement was around Europe, around viewing centers in Lagos, around viewing centers where anyone watched the game, starting with the Tuesday and Wednesday game. We start first with what we saw on Tuesday. Blues versus FC Hollywood Bayern Munich. Realistically, I said it before, and I'll say it again. Realistically, if you're a Chelsea fan, and if you were expecting Chelsea, to beat that Bayern Munich, you are one of the problems of the world. I think either you have global warming somewhere disturbing you in the office. But really, Dari, we saw it. And now Chelsea lost 3-0. So people even thought maybe it was just like a polite result. But it was in the way and manner Chelsea. It could have been more. It could have been 7.
I mean, you saw the game and you say to yourself, the way and manner Sajinabi was ghosting through the defense. A certain Afonso Davis was absolutely fantastic. You ask yourself, what was a certain Rhys James doing as a fullback? He was taken to the cleaners. Defensively speaking, they were nowhere close to the attacking prowess of Bayern Munich on the night. At the end of the day, it boils down to one thing. Look, when it comes to the big stage, the small boys can't do it.
Well, very well said. I really must agree. But we also saw the second game, Napoli against Barcelona. Barcelona, again, I'm going to say it. You guys can drag me all you want. Barcelona, again, proving that it is a Messi plus 10 team.
Yes.
And they didn't come to the party at all.
Jide, I was watching I watched the match, and in the first 45 minutes, Barca had no shot on target. That is very, very bad. For a team that they say they are reinventing their pattern, the certain football, or whatever they call it. They knew. Every other day, they blame Valverde for their woes. Now, this is a new manager. They will tell you, yes, we are playing tiki-taka from 0 to 90 minutes. No shot on target. What? It's not done. I really feel bad for Napoli because they are going to rule their chance, their missed chance in the second leg. They had chances to punish Barcelona. Take it beyond their reach. They had so many chances. And we should give kudos to Ter Stegen too. He did his best to put it in that kind of way. But going forward, if Messi retires today, this Barcelona is nothing better than Arsenal Football Club.
So yeah, I mean, so Arsenal and Barcelona, I mean, you just never know. All right, so very quickly as well, we can also confirm that Sergio Busquets and Arturo Vidal will be missing that particular second leg at the Camp Nou. Well as Dries Mertens, who's currently injured. We can only hope that he survives that particular scare. Robert Lewandowski will miss 4 weeks of action. He coped an ankle injury in that particular game at Chelsea. Well, Chelsea just had to do something. If we cannot win, we have to give somebody injury. I mean, just to avoid anything going forward. Well, fast forward on Wednesday, the night of shock. Juventus, Serie A winners of maybe the birthright holders of the Serie A, just couldn't, even with Ronaldo, with all the big boys, just couldn't get the result done over there in France. You have a feeling that this particular fixture is far from over?
Absolutely, particularly when you consider the fact that, in quotes, one of the major reasons Cristiano Ronaldo was brought into this team was to not just to see them be in the final. They've been there like twice in the last 5 years, so it's not new to them. It's basically for them to win it. Now, when you are losing for the first time in your history to Lyon, who has never defeated you before now, I think they have a lot to do. And when they go to the Alliance Stadium in Turin, I'm sure Juventus will come big. However, Lyon have also shown that they are a team that can play dirty.
What's your thoughts about the second game on that particular day?
Man City came with a different tactics from what they used to play. For the first time in a long while, we see Guardiola playing the Mourinho pattern of football. Sit back, hit them on the counter. They will tell you Guardiola will play tiki-taka from 0 to 2, he will attack you. No, but he was very, very cautious of the opponent he was playing against, and which really helped him. After the first goal, they had nothing to lose. Okay, now we've conceded. Let's go all out and attack. There's nothing to lose. And good for them, they got the first goal, got the second goal. And they went away with the win.
I think it's only a realistic approach when you consider the fact
Before you finish that thought, let me just ask you, do you think that tie is over?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Ramos is out for the next second leg.
Yeah, he might be out. Ramos, a fantastic defender. But Madrid have also shown that when they are pushed to the wall, for a team who have won this back to back, they can always respond. One of the good things for them is the way they've been able to share responsibility across all board, attacking-wise. I think that will also be an advantage for them. And defensively speaking, Man City themselves are not that convincing. Yeah, so you can.
And of course, Aymeric Laporte was also stretched out after that particular game. You really got a feel for Laporte. He was what now 6 months out at this point, and then he came back. All right, so very quickly, FIFA is saying that, you know what, we want to adjust our calendar. We want to consider adjusting our calendar that contains our international matches and, of course, competitions. And I think this will be good for football, such that the players can have more time to rest, teams can have more time to plan, managers can have more time to review a lot of things, because sometimes when you pack that chunk of fixtures together for players, at the end of the day, you have a lot of fatigue, especially in some leagues where they don't know rest. That right there is a big, big deal. But moving forward, and finally, on the sports hotspot, I don't know. Israel Bankole is not on the set today, but I said something last week, if you recall, that I will sit here in this chair and I'll tell him and tell the world again what I said, that Tyson Fury will knock out Deontay Wilder. And again, it was not rocket science. I didn't know anything about both of them. But the truth is, there's a limit to which rage will win in a boxing fight. I mean, Israel went on and about how Deontay Wilder gets better after every rematch. He's a fantastic fighter, this and that. But when push comes to shove, guys, Dari, let me start with you. Tyson Fury was a beast in that particular fight. Yeah. And then he showed the world why he should be taken seriously.
Absolutely. He's one of the most intelligent boxers you can ever have at the heavyweight at this point in time. And also when you consider the fact that Tyson Fury is one of those boxers that when he's fighting, he actually models his game towards the opponent he's taking on. I mean, we are talking about letting go of Ben Davison, who has been with him for like 7, 8, 9 years, for a certain sugar hit within the space of 2 months to make him an attacking boxer, not the defensive one we used to know. And also, another factor that played out in that fight was basically the height advantage, which also helped him in terms of range. If you check the certain Deontay Wilder in that fight, he was fighting from the outside, which was not his usual style. He loved to go in and hit you hard. But because of the height advantage of a certain Deontay Wilder, 6'9" to 6'7", he struggled all through. And so for every time a certain Tyson Fury saw the advantage, he was able to land accurately. I
mean, look at that fight. It was obvious. Tyson Fury, that is, was always going to jab his way because he's a strategic fighter, he's a tactical fighter. Wilder, on the other way, adds his own tactics, which is just wait and land for the big punch. And a lot of times, it works for him, and that's not taking anything away from him. Just like in football, where some people believe that some manager tried to park the bus, while some try to attack. Bottom line was that Tyson Fury on that night was a better fighter, was a more tactical fighter, and was a more patient fighter. But meanwhile, Wilder believes that the costume he wore, we need to look at that costume is currently on your screen. He said the costume he wore weighed his legs, that he had already tried it the day before, and then he wore it to the stage, and then he weighed his leg. And here's my thing, you know a costume you wore it a day before to try it on. And you still wore it again the morning of the fight. And then meanwhile, Tyson Fury came up, wise man, he came out dressed normally, people were carrying him to the ring. And then you can see that right from the beginning, he already got his tactics wrong. But the bottom line is that congratulations. Now we hear that there may be a trilogy, but of course, Eddie Hearn is saying that, you know what, Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury should be what is on the next port right now, so that we can have the unification bout. But then again, it's quite interesting to see just how powerful. It was a 7th round knockout, and that was it. Well, so very quickly we go to the break, and then we'll return. It's time to talk about the biggest conversations we have here today. Remember, this is Hotsports. It is currently available on social media platforms right there on your screen. We'll be right back after this. And the smile on my face only depict the kind of juicy conversation that I'm expecting from this gentleman, because we have a very, very huge topic in front of us. Remember to follow this conversation on social media, right there on your screen, as well as send us a text. Let us know what exactly is on your mind as regards this particular issue. Now we want to talk about maybe the biggest rivalry in sports, maybe the biggest rivalry in club football. It is El-Classico. It is the fixture between Real Madrid and Barcelona. And this time around, it's going to be happening at the Estadio Santiago de Bernabeu. That's the return leg. The first leg was 0-0. It is the over 270th time this particular teams will be meeting. And judging by the recent forms, deep in forms, we must say, and then the travels of the two teams, we're asking this morning, who do you think will win? Will it be Barcelona or Real Madrid?
For the first time since 26th of January this year, Barcelona goes top of the table with 2 points difference between themselves and Real Madrid. And with Lionel Messi back to his current form, you wonder how many goals Real Madrid will concede.
The point difference between the first and second in La Liga is just 2 points, which gives Real Madrid this opportunity to just do the job, win, and you're back at the top of the La Liga, which is very, very important for them.
Well, the quality of faces just shows us how the quality of conversation will be And that right there just sets it up very nicely. I thought it's going to be a very good conversation. So yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy as we open the floor, starting with Ope, of course. Ope, open the floor, please.
Yes, Madrid has just one job. Win. And you get back to top of the La Liga table. You know, we can argue that yes, the quality is no longer there.
So
but
Barcelona don't have any job but to come and lose.
The Barcelona you're talking about are a team that will tap you from 0 to 90 minutes without getting a shot on target. With very
this
obvious.
Barcelona.
This same Barcelona. And the first leg was Madrid had so many chances. They should have buried their chances in the first leg.
Thank God you talked about the first leg.
Yes, and this is second leg. It shows you that Barcelona has not even changed from then to
Do you know Barcelona have not dropped the points since that time when they lost the top of the table to Real Madrid, and they've won, convincingly, even when they sacked their manager in Ernesto Valverde. That is how good they are. And when Lionel Messi was not scoring their passes game, came back to score a double brace. That's to tell you how convincing they can be in the El-Classico. That is how to prep up for a game like this. The last time Real Madrid played a game, they lost at the same Santiago Bernabéu to Manchester City, who have never seen a draw in that same stadium. We are talking about the Barcelona that went all the way to Napoli to get at least a 1-1 draw, which is convincing enough to bring back home.
This is a domestic front.
But they lost in their last domestic game. What are you saying?
It can happen anywhere.
So, who said this one will not happen again? How will they win
this same Barcelona, the second first loss was against Valencia.
Okay.
They lost 2-0. So there is no big deal about this Barcelona
and their
team.
second loss was against who? Was against who? When the certain Real Madrid was winning, when the certain Barcelona was defeating Eibar, they were losing. And that's how big they are. That's how Barcelona can be when it comes to playing big games. We are talking about an El-Classico, which Barcelona is currently topping. They have 96 wins when it comes to the El-Classico. They've surpassed the same Real Madrid team
this season.
Okay.
How many big games has Barca won this season?
Let's be
very, very.
How many big games have
they played against Atletico Madrid, right? They played against Valencia.
Against who? Where?
At the Super Cup.
You just said
Super Cup.
Look at the way you are bottling things. You just said in the league. In the league, they defeated this same Atletico Madrid. Have you forgotten? What are you telling me?
Did they defeat Real Madrid?
This was a draw.
Did they defeat Real Madrid?
It was a draw.
Did they defeat
So how many
Valencia?
big games have they lost? How many big games? That means they've not lost any.
I like this train of thoughts, guys. But let's just ask, going into this game, who is a form team?
It's obviously Barcelona. Barcelona have not lost the last El-Classico. That's to tell you how big they are, irrespective of where they are playing. That is even excluding their goalless draw at the Camp Nou. And also when you consider the fact that who is the X factor in Real Madrid at this point in time? Not even Benzema.
You don't think they have an X factor?
Who is the X factor?
Does Madrid have an X factor?
Football is a team.
Interesting.
Yes. So Madrid doesn't.
Football is a team game that will keep having the best player in the world.
The thing is, Madrid doesn't have a vocal point as a player presently.
Absolutely.
But one thing they try to do very well is to play as a team.
So El-Clasico,
they can pack the midfield.
El-Clasico
there's something about Madrid
beyond
these days.
the team game. There is always a time in the El-Clasico where you need a man to stand up and take the bull by the horn. We've seen that in Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay.
And unfortunately, it's not there anymore. But they still have a certain Lionel Messi who can always do this.
We mention this all the time.
Real Madrid.
We cannot underestimate the Messi factor. But now, as a team, you can always shut him out. He played against Napoli, was playing Babiala football. We saw it. Did he create any chance? No, let's be factual. Did Messi had any shot on target against Napoli?
Do you know what?
No. I'm just asking you a question.
Do you know
if Napoli can shut,
do you know what Do you know what games like El-Clasico does to Lionel Messi? Games like that makes him bring out the lion in him. It makes him the invincible one. We've seen where he takes the ball.
Barcelona have struggled in the knockout of the UCL for the past 3 seasons. Where he need to come to the party, he did not come there.
Okay.
So he plays El-Clasico every other weekend, every other day.
El-Clasico, he's always come to the party.
Let me tell you something.
He's always come to the party.
This weekend,
and that is why he's the highest goal scorer at the El-Clasico. What else do you
want?
want?
Just
so gentlemen,
shut him out. Pack the midfield. You get the goal.
And we are back, and it's been a very, very thoroughly enjoyable show. We hope you've had fun with these guys in the studio, Be and Dari. But yeah, it will be my final whistle. The El-Clasico has made players and also destroyed players in terms of their mindset and just how good a player can be on the day. Sometimes the numbers, the statistics don't count for anything if you do not show up on the day it matters most. Well, Real Madrid coming into this particular one, very beleaguered, losing to Man City at home. You have a feeling that it is time to respond, and there's no bigger platform to respond to than using El-Clasico as a platform. But meanwhile, for Barcelona, the El-Clasico can just shift that momentum. That team is currently in trouble. The over-reliance on Messi and sometimes the lack of output to other players. Maybe the likes of Braithwaite could even, come on at some point and probably prove themselves. It's time to prove. It's time to step up to the plate. But hey, that's my final whistle. What is your final whistle? Let us know what its thoughts are on social media at HotsportsNG, and as well as the text on your number on the screen. On the number on the screen, I beg your pardon. Do what to tell us what exactly your thoughts are. But guys, want to thank you everybody for coming to their TV set this morning and tuning in to watch this particular show, the longest running independent sports show on Nigerian television. We want to say thank you very much. But remember, as always, that I say, do well to treat others just the way you'd like to be treated. My name is Babajide Guerrero. Have a fantastic week ahead. Bye for now.